This dear one has not been able in his own strength to quite surmount the divide, as you call it. In fact, as you see it, he had passed on. The soul had left the body behind, and one so enlightened can be helped at the crucial moment so that the soul returns and the body finishes its perfection. Then the body can be taken along. This brother longed too ardently to pass on, and he left his body when just a few more steps, as it were, helped it over the divide, and the perfection was complete. The help extended was our great privilege. We slowly withdrew our arms and stood for a full minute in absolute silence. One of our party broke the silence with the words, "My Lord and my God." As for me, it did not seem as though I should ever want to talk again. I wanted to think. We were all seated, and a few had found their voices and were conversing in low tones. This condition had lasted for 15 or 20 minutes, and nearly everyone was engaged in general conversation when one of our party walked to the window. He turned and said there seemed to be strangers arriving in the village. We all went down to meet them, as it was a very rare occurrence for strangers to visit the village at this season of the year and on foot, as it was just past midwinter. When we arrived, we found that it was a party from a smaller village about 30 miles down the valley. They had brought a man who had lost his way in a storm 3 days previous and had been nearly frozen. His friends had carried him on a stretcher all that distance through the snow. Jesus stepped close and, placing his hand upon the man's head, stood for a moment. Almost instantly, the man threw off the wrappings and rose to his feet. His friends, when they saw him stand, stared at him for an instant, then ran from the scene in terror. We could not persuade them to return. The man who was healed seemed dazed and uncertain. 2 of our friends persuaded him to go with them to their homes, while our party, accompanied by Jesus, returned to our quarters.